Everybody, I'm Mike Milnarik, and I am pumped to be back. When I say pumped to be back, it's been a little while. It's been a minute since I did a video, and there's a lot of times where I think that because I get so wrapped up into the stuff that I'm trying to work on and trying to make my career better. I sometimes, when I think about content and making content, I start to think about I don't know what they want. What do they want? What kind of questions do they have? What can I help people with? Because I do want to help. And today specifically, Sunday, what's the date? September 22nd. Is today the first day of fall? Yesterday's the first day of fall? Whatever. It's fall or autumn if you prefer. And I had this kind of epiphany today. The details of my epiphany really don't matter to everybody else, but the type of epiphany I think matters to everybody, and I think it helps. And I think that there was a reason to make a video today, so guess what? I'm here, and I'm making a video, and I hope you're doing well, and I hope you get something out of this. So, one of the important things when you're dealing with trying to create a business or create goals in life is to figure out what the big picture is. Now, I've talked to people about this a lot over the years. Goal setting, time scheduling, all that stuff, which is all important stuff. And have other resources that can help you with that if that's what you need help with. But one thing about goal setting is, what's the big picture? What's the biggest thing that you're trying to accomplish? So, in other words, if I always ask this question of people that kind of are lost and they don't know what to do. If you could do one thing, and for now, just keep it at one thing, but if you could do one thing, anything that you wanted, that you thought that if I could do this, I would be so happy. It would be incredible. This is what I want to do in my life. And most importantly, there were no obstacles. What would it be? If you thought about it, a lot of times when I do this, like in a live clinic, I have people come up to me saying, I don't know. They just don't know. And that's okay. That's all right. Sometimes people haven't thought about it. Sometimes people don't have a really grand goal. Sometimes people's goals are getting through the next day and dealing with work and dealing with your boss and dealing with all that kind of stuff and everything. Nothing wrong with that. We all have a different path and we all do our own thing. So for me, one of the things that has been prying at me, just like nagging me and gnawing at me, is that I know what my ultimate goal is. I do. Now, I've said in other videos, the rules have changed a little bit in what I do along the way, and that's bound to happen. Change happens. So how do you adjust? And so I have reorganized my thoughts. I have, when I say reorganize my thoughts, I've thought okay, well, guess what? That is off the table. Not going to happen anymore. Just won't work the way I was hoping it would earlier on. That's okay. And that was not due to my not wanting. It was not due to my not working at it. It was due to, again, things change. And a lot of that stuff is out of your power. So then what do you do? Do you just sulk? Do you just do nothing? Do you not move forward? What do you do? Well, so I have put a lot of thought into things, and I've decided what I want to do. Now, what I want to do doesn't matter to you. It doesn't make any difference to you whatsoever, because what I want to do is what I want to do, and that is not anything that affects you or is directly related to you. So I'm not going to go into my details of what I'm trying to do. But what I will say, and this again does affect other people if you use it, is that my ultimate goal, I feel, has been stagnated. And sometimes goals get stagnated based on, say, resources. Now, that could be money, that could be time, that could be personnel. If you have something that involves other people, or if you have a business that depends on other people to keep the wheels moving. Some things, and definitely in my case, have so many wheels turning that it's just like it just seems to be impossible to do everything myself. And so that gets discouraging sometimes. And what makes it also difficult is that when things go wrong and I have to deal with certain issues, certain problems along the way, like, say, for instance, I'll give you, for instance, so that's not vague, technology issues. I could keep it vague like that. Or, I mean, I could give you specific like that. That isn't too vague. Technology issues where I have to constantly call the company that I'm dealing with the technology, and I have to figure out why something that's supposed to be so simple isn't working, and it wastes just literally hours of my time that I could be doing something else and I could be moving forward on, which, in all honesty, in some ways gets really frustrating. And to put it even more bluntly, it gets infuriating sometimes. Simply because I have a fair amount of computer background from when I was a kid. That's where it started anyway, I should say. And then I got better, but then I got out of computers, so I don't have as much as a lot of people. And I know so much, and I'm not an expert, but I know enough to be dangerous. And I know enough that when I contact customer service about technology issues for the company that's providing the technological services, it drives me nuts when I know more than customer service does. And they can't solve my problem. And with the knowledge that I have, I can't solve my problem because it's limited. So that's why I go to them to ask them for help. So these things get in the way and get frustrating. And if I had some way to deal with those kind of things and also be able to still work at the same time, it would be very helpful. So one of the things, and this is the main point of this video today, is that I have a big picture in mind. I have an ultimate goal. I have a pretty clear idea of what I want to do and what I'm working toward. I should say pretty clear. I have a clear idea. I have been discouraged at times, which is going to happen. That's normal. It's you have to keep plugging along, and it's always nice to have people around you that actually can pick you up when you actually are feeling discouraged. So that's also a really, really helpful thing, to have people in your life that actually want to see you succeed, and they can stand behind you when you feel like you're not producing, when you're down, that when you feel like you're being kicked when you're down sometimes, so it's great to surround yourself with those kind of people because it's very important. And then of course, is you are the same type of person for them, that you support them and help them when they're down, and encourage them even when they're not down, so we all need that. We need that encouragement. So, what's really important is that my big picture has had some major obstacles that have just been driving me crazy. But, so when you have a big picture in mind, your brain will start working to try to figure out ways to find smaller goals in order for you to come up with steps to reach those smaller goals to get to that bigger goal. If you don't have the big goal in mind, it's hard to come up with smaller steps to get to the big goal. And it's harder to get the little steps to get to that smaller goal. So you have to have some kind of an idea. You have to know what you want. And I have been wrestling with like 2 or 3 things. And they're driving me crazy. And the problem was that my big picture, my ultimate goal, very important, has been my focus, and I'm trying to come up with those smaller ways in between, but But I have actually felt stunted and discouraged because of X, Y, and Z aren't happening. And without those things, then I can't get to the big goal. So how can I set these smaller goals in the meantime so I can get these smaller steps to get to those shorter term goals, those smaller goals, to be able to get ultimately to the big goal, the big picture. And one of the things that I do on a regular basis, I would say, is that I watch business videos, I watch motivational videos, that kind of stuff. Now, do I believe everything I hear, see, or read? Nope, I don't. And there's some times where I think there are people on YouTube that I think that are, I don't know, just sometimes I feel like they make stuff up, so you got to be really careful. But I find some sources that I feel that I trust that have some very good information that register with me based on my experience, and especially my past experience of the accomplishments that I've already made in my life, that I know what it takes to get to a certain point. And so when I get to someone that I'm watching a video on YouTube and they're saying things that actually resonate with me, that I go, yep, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Because I know, I'm positive. No doubt that what they're talking about is 100% true because I went through it myself. I've had the exact same experience, and I know that they know what they're talking about, that they've actually gone through it. They're not just saying they are, and then they are. They're actually saying they are something, but they've actually gone through the steps in order to get there, and they are actually that something. So that's very important. So those reliable sources, there are going to be times where I'm watching a video and a couple things come to mind. One is that there's a part of me, because I've watched so much stuff over the years, I've read so many business books, and I've read so many basic like marketing and advertising and business and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I have a big interest in that. And that I got to a certain point where I started feeling like, put all the books down, turn the videos off. You have enough knowledge in your head. Just do it. Just do it already. And there's merit to that. There is merit to that because there is a problem that we can develop, and I'm guilty of this myself, of course, is that we can just keep preparing, but we actually never do. That's an issue because you can't reach the goal if you're not doing. A goal is an idea put into action. It's got to be actionable, and you have to put it into action. If you're not putting it into action, you're not getting anywhere. So I can keep reading books, I can keep watching videos, I can do all that stuff, and I'm just never getting better. I'm getting better. I'm getting better here, but I'm never getting closer. That's the words I wanted. I'm never getting closer to my goal. So it's really, really important that I find, and I've learned, is that there has to be a balance. Because for a long time, I got away from the reading of the books. I read some stuff. I got away from the motivational videos and books on tape and all that stuff that I used to do, or, audio books or whatever you call them nowadays. I used to have cassettes that I listened to in my car. So there's that stuff. But when I got away from that, I felt like I didn't know until later when I look back and I go, what's different? Why am I in a different place now? Why am I not feeling the same excitement as I used to? And part of that is age. As you get older, there's all kinds of factors that actually factor into your energy levels, and your ability to pick up a ball and run with it. So that can be a big factor. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of videos on YouTube that can tell you all about that kind of stuff. So, and I'm sure I struggle with some of that, of course. Actually, I'm sure I struggle with that a lot. So just a fact of getting older. When you're young, you're exuberant and you have a lot more energy and you have a lot more excitement and the world is your oyster and all that stuff. And as you get older, it's just different. And you learned a lot and you figured out a lot along the way, and you start realizing what the world's like, and things are not fair, and you have to bust your ass and you have to keep moving forward, and people are going to get in your way, and people that don't believe in you especially, and even more so people that are close to you that don't believe in you are going to get in your way. So it's a big deal. And then there's also the part that there's responsibilities that come up that you feel like you just can't take as big a risk as you used to, because you need to have that income, you need to have that health insurance, you have to have all this stuff, and you got bills coming in and all that stuff. So as you get older, it just gets it could get frustrating in some ways. But one of the things that I said that I've been having problems with is time. And I feel like I wish there were 5 of me. If I had 5 of me, I feel like I could be running things on all cylinders and really, really pushing the cart up the hill easily. Does the world need 5 of me? I really don't think so. I think 1 of me is too much. Or at least I think other people might think that. So, but I think that it's important to remember that time is really important. And that has been one of my biggest problems. And I have not been able to crack that nut. And I'm going, how can I get more done? I don't have the money to pay people right now. And I'm just like, so what do I do? And so that is one of my epiphanies that I had today. And the reason for that, and the reason for this video, is not to tell you what my solution for that was, as much as you may want to know, because I think that my solution for that is different than what other people may need. So I don't know if it actually will help you as much. But what I do want to tell you, and the reason for this video, and based on what I just said, is that there has to be that balance between watching motivational things or having things that motivate you, and then also the doing part. It's got to both happen. You have to get yourself motivated. You got to get yourself excited. You got to get yourself wanting to move forward. At the same time, you got to be moving forward and doing things. So what I found is that I will listen to my trusted sources, YouTube videos usually, primarily. And there's a lot of times while I'm watching this stuff, because I've watched so much over the years and I've read so many books over the years, that I am kind of like, yep, yeah. Yep, I get that. Yep, I agree. Yep. And not brushing it off. I listen. But every once in a while, and sometimes from some brand new source that I don't really trust yet, I'm watching a little bit and they're talking about some stuff, and I have aha moments. Then I went, aha! That's, yes! What? Why didn't I think about this sooner? And I have those. And I had 2 of them today. And it's like, you go watch a 45-minute video, an hour video, hour and a half video. I split them up because I don't have time to sit through one the whole way. Sometimes I do it like while I'm eating a meal or something like that. I'll watch. And then I turn it off when I get done eating, and then I go do other stuff. And then, some other time I come back, maybe it's the next day at breakfast or something again. But it's just like, I had a video I was watching today that I really didn't think about too much. It was really not going very far for me. And I was kind of thinking like, why am I watching this? This is kind of boring. It's not really applying to what I do, yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden I had this aha moment that I was just like, wait a second. Yes, that solves an issue. That solves an issue for me to get to one of my smaller goals, which ultimately helps me get to my bigger goals. And I am really pumped. And I couldn't wait to make a video today. I've been actually sitting there like all the time kind of going, I'm writing some stuff down and I'm going like, what do people want to hear? Do people even want to hear from me anymore? Did people want to hear from me in the first place? You know, and that's one of those things where I really appreciate if you like and subscribe the video, if you get content that you feel like it's kind of helping you at some point. Doesn't cost you anything. It'll just kind of, I guess it'll push some videos through, like, you know, future content and let you know when I post something else. But it's just like that helps me get my videos out to more people and help more people through the issues that I'm dealing with and that I'm trying to get better with and that are solving my problems, which means they can help solve your problems. So it's really important for you to balance the motivational type material at the same time as doing things that are going to get you closer to your big picture, or at least a smaller goal. You know, your big picture is great, but it's just like there's a long way to get to the big picture. So it's like setting smaller, more obtainable goals that just are simply easier to get to are going to get you motivated. They're going to get you more excited because when you start accomplishing little things, it'll start getting you closer to your big picture, but you'll also have accomplished something. And that gets you motivated to do more. You start accomplishing something and then you get more excited to do more. You know, it's hard to like something until you're decent at it. So like, for instance, in music, you know, one of the things that we hate to do is practice scales as when we're young and stuff, or even just practice when we're young. But when we start seeing the improvement in our playing and seeing that the practicing is helping, we start getting more excited and motivated to do it. This is the same thing. If at first it's hard because we haven't done it, and so it's frustrating, and we actually like have to push through to try to do whatever it is that we're trying to do because we said we wanted something, but how much do we really want that? So we got to push and push and push. And as you keep doing these little things and accomplishing these little things to get to those small goals and accomplishing those steps, you start seeing improvement. And then all of a sudden, you start feeling more motivation. Like, I can't wait to do that. I can't wait to get up in the morning. I can't wait to like just keep getting closer to that goal. I can see it. It's getting closer. I could touch it. I could taste it. I can smell it. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But it's like it's motivating. It's motivating for us. So the takeaway from this today is to balance the motivational material and the doing, but by doing so, when you're watching motivational things, don't discount the motivational things that you're watching or listening to or reading because you've either heard it before, you already know it, it doesn't apply to you, etc. Because you may get into it a little ways and there may be that one thing and then a bunch of stuff that like doesn't apply again. And then another thing that pops up that gives you that, aha, that's it. That's the missing link. That's the puzzle piece that has been missing. Good luck. Drop me a line. Hit me up in the comments. Like and subscribe. Let me know what kind of content you want to see. And hopefully we could help each other. So, yeah, have a great day.